Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Naram Promotions, a Real Deal podcast show. This is urgent. Malicious Melissa is barreling towards Jamaica with record-breaking speed. Wind speeds are packing, and I've been told that it's close to 160 miles an hour. This is dangerous times, my brothers and sisters. You gotta listen up, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Spread the word. Be careful. Be warned. Take heed, ladies and gentlemen. Find higher ground. This is no joke. This is one of the biggest, most historic, and catastrophic event that has ever faced the island of Jamaica. Check your news media, your emergency services. Look around you. This is not a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, it's, oh my God, I'm telling you, I got to turn that down. But over there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put on stage here I'm not going to wait. I'm going to put on stage here the latest news that has come to my desk this morning. And let's share that with you immediately so you understand the ramifications of what's going on here, the developments that has happened overnight, literally overnight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please share the word. Share. I can't ask you more than this. Share the word, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big, big deal. So look, let's bring this up, the first video, and you will understand where I'm coming from when I share this video. And I'm going to talk about it on the other side of this video. So let's go. Let's bring it in right now. Here we go. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it.
It is early morning Sunday, October 26, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. We are watching this system now, a Category 4 hurricane. It will likely become a Category 5. It will be a 4 or a 5 as it makes landfall into Jamaica. This is going to be a direct hit, and for some folks in Jamaica, this is going to be the worst hurricane on record as it rolls in. It will be worse in some locations than Gilbert, than what happened with Charlie in the 50s, than some other storms out there. This is a powerful major hurricane. It is headed right toward Jamaica. You can see it here, how well defined it is. And this is what I've been talking about for days and days. We would see a satellite picture looking like this. The eye, all of that, it did rapidly intensify overnight. So we have that direct hit. Some of the rain bands are starting for some of us. We need to be in our safe locations. It's going to be a slow mover and a long duration as this moves in. Now with a system like this, where the eye comes on shore, that could be complete structure failure for some weaker structures. Roofs will be heavily damaged, if not torn off in spots. I know this is a lot of scary talk, but that's why we have done the preparation. That's why I've been doing everything I can over the last week to give out the warning on this. We're looking at power outages for weeks, if not longer in spots. With this, also not only the winds, but the rain, roads are going to be washed away. We're going to have significant mudslides. Not all of the roads. I keep it in perspective. You know me. I keep it in good perspective. But we are going to have heavy damage in certain locations in which communities will be isolated. You see the eye of this right here. These white shadings telling me we have the taller cloud tops. Now, one thing you could do today, not only continue with the very last minute stuff, and some of us have a little time, is keep the word out, because what's going to happen is some of us are going to wake up to sunshine again in our eastern sections and be like, hey, what storm? Is this storm coming? What you can do is let them know, yes, take a look at this. I'll give further updates. If you subscribe, you'll get the updates first. I'll be putting out updates throughout the day. It's a long duration event, so show them this. Again, this powerful Category 4, about to become a Category 5. That is just to the south, but those rain bands already working in, and we've had the catastrophic flooding in southern Haiti. Now, I've been trying to get in touch with one of my teams on the ground. I've yet to hear back. That is common, and that's what's going to happen in parts of Jamaica as well. It is going to be very hard to be in touch as we go over the next couple of days. Now, as we take a look at what's going on right now, this is going to move right on top of us in Jamaica. Then into eastern Cuba. We're making the hurricane preps right up toward Guantanamo Bay, and then Crooked Island south. We're making those hurricane preps, watching out for a hurricane southeastern Bahamas, big chain. Again, northern Bahamas, not seeing anything out of this. This is extreme southeastern Bahamas, and then watching back through the Turks and Caicos with at least tropical storm conditions. Right now, it's a Category 4, so we're talking about 140 mile per hour winds, about 140 mile per hour winds, maybe a little bit stronger in some spots. Now, this is 100, the center of this is 195 kilometers or 120 miles to the south and kind of southeast, really south of Kingston at this point. It is moving so slowly. This is the concern. It's moving to the west at about 7 kilometers an hour, 5 miles per hour. So the slow go on this is one of the big issues on this because it is just feeding off of those very warm water temperatures. Now, I mentioned where the center is still away from Kingston, for example, but this thing is going to grow and has to about 400 miles wide, about 650 kilometers wide. And the hurricane force winds will expand and extend for about the entire country of Jamaica. So no one's really getting out of this. There'll be some better spots. Western sections, Montego Bay will be a little bit better, but there's going to be hurricane winds. So that's, again, the best case scenario as this works in. Central and eastern zones, destructive winds out of this are a likelihood. That's what's going to happen. That's why we've been making those preparations as this moves in as a major hurricane. It is taking that worst case scenario track for us in Jamaica and then eventually pushing its way into eastern Cuba. It will accelerate. Once it passes Jamaica, it gets caught up in a front. That means it moves faster. And we'll keep an eye on Bermuda down the road, in particular by Thursday. I'm going to expand this out in this video as we work our way down the road. But now is the time you could share this information. We're about to get cut off with power. Get the word out, especially with some of us with some good conditions this morning in spots. Please, please, I know you're doing your part. Everything you got with the system as far as preparations and getting the word out, everything you got, do it, because this is one of those storms. It will be an historic storm for Jamaica. It's going to be a record-breaking storm, hurricane for Jamaica. And you know me, I do not say those things lightly, right? I've been I've been with you for day after day, year after year. I've been doing this for decades. This is going to be one of the most powerful storms to move through Jamaica. Jamaica, we're going to get on the other side of it. We've dealt with storms. We bounce back. That is what is going to happen. But in spots, the recovery is going to take a while. Now, let's go throughout the day today. I mentioned get toward Falmouth and Montego Bay, and this is important because the messaging is so important. Winds, it'll be breezy. We'll have some sunshine this morning. Some of us seen some of the stars this morning. But as the day goes on and this gets closer, we're going to be seeing it get closer, especially as we get into tonight. That's when we'll start to get those hurricane winds. Tropical storm impacts have already moved in for some of us in our eastern sections. So take a look at this map. If you're west, central, or east, all of us are going to get those impacts, but they're going to be slow in some spots to start. That's why I'm taking you day by day as we go through that. So that's today. Again, we need to be in place, especially eastern sections of Jamaica. Then as we work our way into tomorrow, we all need to be in our safe place. It's going to be a long duration. A lot of us are in shelters or in our homes. That may be good homes. We've taken in some neighbors as well. It's going to be a long go. 3 solid days of being in place, at least together with this. Then tomorrow, especially late in the day, you see the winds. Southern sections, Treasure Beach swinging all the way back toward the east, especially as we work our way deeper into Monday. We will have some winds around 150 miles per hour. We work over toward Black River. We're looking at some of the winds near 100 miles per hour. Could be a little bit higher. If this just curls a little bit back more, could be a little bit higher tomorrow. Northern sections, though, again, look at the winds. not hurricane conditions during the day yet tomorrow. Okay, so that's the messaging, and I really appreciate you getting the word out. I do this channel for safety, and that's the bottom line. So just getting the word out, the messaging about this, again, just tropical, not just, but again, not the hurricane conditions yet, northern sections as we go throughout much of the day tomorrow. Then as we get into tomorrow night, that is when the worst weather arrives as we get into sunset tomorrow night, and as we work our way into Tuesday morning, you could see the winds, all of us. So if you're saying, hey, am I going to get this hurricane in Jamaica? The answer is yes. And you could see here, we could have winds. This is what I've adjusted.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back to regular programming, but I've got to get to one of the NARAM soldiers on the ground in Jamaica in Seer District. That's Mr. Dane himself. As you can see, the weather pattern has increased and intensified immensely, and it's now working its way up to a Category 5. It is not yet on land in Jamaica, and it is a few hours away, and it can go much more higher than that. The warning, ladies and gentlemen, the warning. Warn your friends. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, because this is a big, okay? Do not take it lightly. This is not something you got to joke around with. It may look calm now. I'm going to show you what's going on the ground in a few seconds. However, make sure you've made your preparations and you're close to home, or you're home. Secure, batten down, get ready. So let's get over to Mr. Dane out of Seer District. This is Warden Bora, one of NARAM's young soldiers, and he's out there on the ground right now. So let's welcome him on stage. Mr. Dane Bora, how you doing?
Not bad, man. How you doing, Jay?
Doing good, doing good. I see you at the Mystic Inn.
Right. On that location.
How is it looking on the location here?
Calm so far. Calm.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Not foggy as yet, but calm.
Okay, so kind of give us a panoramic view from your cameras. Okay, as you can see, the storm clouds are up. It's calm, but ladies and gentlemen, don't let it fool you. Yep, it's coming. See, the Mystic Inn is battened down. That's all courtesy of Mr. Bora himself. Respect every time. Everything is locked down, I'm telling you. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. This is no joke. It's quiet. Quiet for now. How's there's no wind, no rain yet?
No wind, no rain as yet.
Kind of tell me what's going on in the area with the people. Has everyone battened down?
Currently, everybody is on top of their roof, battening down the windows, battening down the roofs, strapping hurricane straps and all of that. All of that is taking place right now.
Awesome. And have you heard of any incidents of people who can't help themselves? Are they getting help?
Yeah. All the persons who are unable to assist themselves are being helped from other persons.
Okay, so tell me, give me from your perspective what you think should be done, if there's anything that's left undone.
Well, from my perspective, what I'm seeing right now is that I think many of the roadways we should have had some of the roadways more cleared, because it's a lot of water coming. A lot of water is coming, and with the roadways not being entirely cleared, you know, that will have some water stoppage backing up around.
Right. So
that's
anything else?
That's one of the things I see. That's one of the things I see happening. That's one of the things I see now that could have been adjusted.
Right. And we're concerned about the Bay Area down by Alligator Pond because we know that they're gonna get it from both angles, from the sea surge, and also the flooding waters. How is it looking down there? Are people moving out to higher ground?
Yes, persons are moving out. The last time I heard this morning that persons are moving, persons are taking the necessary precautions. Regardless, there are persons who insist on not moving, but then those persons they're taking the necessary precaution.
Wonderful. And how is the temperature in terms of how people are thinking? Are they taking it seriously all
Very,
around
very, very
from your
serious.
perspective?
Very, very, very serious. Most persons are being very, very serious about it. Very, very serious.
Wonderful.
You can
So
see
we're gonna
persons being concerned in the sense that they are intensified, running around all over, trying to get all the things that is necessary to keep them safe throughout the storm.
Okay, that's wonderful. I hope you keep safe, Dane. I'm gonna check in with you again later on today, so we can see what's going on the ground, and also you can tell me what you're seeing when you're moving around. Respect,
Yes.
young Nara. Bless up. Goodness gracious me. Honor.
Goodness gracious me.
Blessing. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. This is a big deal, and I say seek higher ground, run from the water, hide from the wind, get into a solid structure, and batten down, because this is coming, and it's now looking like a Category 5. Jamaica has never seen anything like this before. If you're in low-lying areas along the coast, seek higher ground. Run from the water, hide from the wind. Get into a solid structure that you can ride it out over the days that it's going to meander around Jamaica for. It's going to be in Jamaica. It's going to hit Jamaica directly, and it's going to sit on Jamaica for about 3 to 5 days. And the water content, you're talking serious amount of water. As you heard from Mr. Dane, that some of the drains and roads have not been cleared. This we're going to talk about after the event, because this should not be. This should have been taken care of a long time ago. And this is going to become an issue because every year this happens. So what happened to the road cleaning and the drain cleaning and all that good stuff that the government should have spearheaded? We hope that what can I say? We can only pray that it does not cause immense damage because the gutters were not cleared. There's going to be enough water there for flooding, landslides, destructions of roads and properties. It's a catastrophic event, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. That's the least you can do so that the algorithm can put it out there so others can see it. Do it right now. I'm not doing this and asking you to pay me to do it. It's free to you. So the least you can do is click the like, share, and subscribe button. Send the message out there so others can see it. We're hours away. And this is a serious event. And I'm when you see me here early in the morning and I've got my work to do, it's a reason, because I want to pass this message on to as much people as I can to let you know what is coming and how to prepare for it. This is an historic event that we've never seen before. So pass on the word, share it. Let others know what's going on. Because you may think it's a Category 1 or 2 because you heard the news last week or a couple of days ago. But now it's up to a Category 4 and roving to a category 5. This is of absolute importance that you know, because you may have to go back and batten down a little bit more because you did it superficially. This is catastrophic, ladies and gentlemen. This is a category 5, and it could be greater than that. I think that can lift houses. Goodness gracious me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We're here with you, and we're going to be live right through the entire event. We're going to bring you news and views from all across the island. I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching now, to pass on the word. If you want to contact us, look down below. The numbers and social medias are streaming. So you can call in, you can send in the WhatsApp, send in the pictures. If you want to come live and show what's going on in your area, please contact me. We'll be back on again later on this evening as we get some more news. We'll be watching the media to see, and the meteorologist channels to see if how the changes are coming to the island, and it's going to hit real soon. So you got to get to a safe place. Get your supplies, get your batteries charged up, your power banks, get your fuel, this is the last minute here. If you have a generator, make sure it's filled with fuel, get your oil. Check to make sure they're working. The power is going to cut real soon. JPS has to shut it down. This is serious business. You know what I mean? They got to shut that thing down, so the power is going to go. You got to get your batteries for your radios. Make sure you have radios that you can hear and listen what's going on. And if you have those little portable TVs, make sure you have batteries for that. This is the time. It's your last check here. This is your last chance. You got to be prepared, ready, because you're going to ride out for weeks. At a category 5, remember, Gilbert flattened the island at category 4. And Ivan, I think it was Ivan, yeah. It was flat. The country was flat. So this is greater than all those combined. And it's wide. The width of it is about 400 miles across. This is a major, major event. So for weeks, communication, transportation will be down. The roads are going to be blocked, and you're going to have a lot of roads being destroyed. So people will be locked in. Landslides are imminent. Flooding is going to impede movement. Have your candles? If you don't, get some. Get some. If you have the solar lights, are they charged? Make sure they're charged. Secure your supplies if you're in a flood-prone area and you don't decide, you're not moving to higher ground. Back in the day, you'd live in a cave, and that would be fine. But today, it's a lifestyle. You don't want to live there. But a cave would be really good at this point. But your home, if you have a strong home where you have a decking and it's all concrete, go to the inner part of the home where the strongest part is. Because even though you're in a decking, when those winds hit, if the windows and doors become compromised, make sure you're in the interior section of the home, the strongest part. It is absolutely necessary you pass the word around. Look out for those who are in weak structures, because at the rate of speed and the amount of water that is coming, those weak structures are the first to go. So help those who can't help themselves, because this is absolutely important that you tell them that they got to get out. Keep your important documents in plastic, sealed up in a strong box or something, so you can take it with you if you have to move right away. I don't know what the Prime Minister was thinking when he said, oh, we're going to give help, but you got to have proper IDs. What if you're flooded out and you lose everything? What's going to happen? You know, this is not the time for jokes or shenanigans. You got to be resolute. So, ladies and gentlemen, just make sure that you are ready for this storm. You know, we're doing our job here. You got to do your job there. Make sure you're safe and your family is safe. Gather everything, move to higher ground, secure what you can secure right now. Right now. As you saw earlier with Dane telling you, it's calm out there. You see it? It's a little bit cloudy and dark, but it's so calm. But remember that picture that you see here on Naram Promotions Real Deal podcast show, because it's not going to look like that in a few hours. We're going to check in with Dane as we go along in a few hours from now to see what the ground is looking like. As he told you, people are taking it seriously and they're running around like crazy in the last minute. People along the shores of Alligator Pond and I hope Treasure Beach and Black River and all those good places, and along Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, you know, guys, St. Thomas, you know, down by Treasure Beach, going along Black River, going down to Westmoreland and going down to Negril. Take it seriously. This is going to be a historic event, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tune in to the meteorologist again, let him finish what he's saying, and I'm going to go to another meteorologist so you get from a different perspective what they're saying. But take it seriously. Here we go. Let's check it out. Here we go, guys.
I've been really the forecast I've been showing you as a whole, as tricky as this has been. I've been doing my best job to give you the best information, and generally it's been holding, especially over the last couple days. I did up the wind somewhat, Spanish Town toward Kingston, even back toward Milk River, right where this kind of comes on shore. Watching Treasure Beach, winds 100 to 160 miles per hour, sustained right along the coast. That means higher gust. I've also upped the surge. I want to show you that the rain totals also higher. So none of the news as a whole has been good. Again, I don't get in a scary way. It is my job to give you the correct information of what's going to happen, and that's what I'm doing. Northern sections, you see here, even St. Anne's Bay, 140 mile per hour winds by the time we get into tomorrow night. Montego Bay, about 90 to 100 mile per hour winds at times, and again, extreme western zones will have some of that closer to the center of this, though those winds around 120. Now tomorrow night, the sounds are going to be scary. Remember that as you're sheltered in place. Remember I said that. Brian said that. It's going to be very scary at night with the very strong winds. It is howling. We're going to hear sounds of some stuff getting, trees going down, some stuff getting ripped apart. Again, that is very scary talk, I know, but I want you to know that I'm giving you the heads up. You're going to be in your safe spot. It is going to be very scary. Then we'll get on the other side of this as we work our way into the day on Tuesday. Now, where this comes on shore, it could be right here, it could be closer to Treasure Beach, or it could be near Kingston. But in that core, the eye wall of this, that is the worst weather with this, right? That is where we're going to have destructive winds. Severe structure damage is likely. Power loss for weeks. Could be longer in some spots because, again, some roads are going to get cut off with some of the wind that we're dealing with, and that will give us some isolation of some communities. So if you're having trouble getting in touch with some of your loved ones, of course, the communication, that is going to be no doubt a huge issue with this. Now, as we take a look at those winds where this comes on shore, we could have, and I'm giving you the high end here, again, keeping it in perspective, but if this comes on shore with sustained winds, that's a constant wind of 160, that would equate to some gust of about 175 to 180. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm giving you kind of the high end of that. So we're going to see this fluctuate most likely between a category 4, category 5. They fluctuate somewhat. So you may even hear of a touch of weakening at one point, but that's just because the eye kind of replaces itself. So look at this. Again, this is what we're preparing for. Even north coast, northeast section, 150 mile per hour winds. That is a possibility, if not a likelihood at this point, as far as the wind gusts are concerned. And that's why we're going to see that very heavy damage. Now, as far as the rain goes, I want to show you, again, down the road, we'll cover everything as far as where this will end up, the surge. But the rain, the total's even higher because this got stronger quicker. Like I was telling you yesterday, it was getting stronger, even more so than the models were showing. And that's where we sit now. And that's my job, not just show you a bunch of models, but to let you know exactly what is happening. You can see the rain. Again, this favors eastern sections. As I mentioned, western sections, not as much, but we will have some spots up to about 40 inches of rain. That's going to be a possibility, right? Even extreme western sections of Haiti still, we're talking about the possibility of 40 inches, 750 millimeters. 750 millimeters or more of rain in a few pockets, and then elsewhere, very high rain totals. Again, eastern sections of Jamaica, and then swinging toward the peninsula of Haiti, where I've been trying to get out the word as best I can. Additional flooding, because as this moves up and around, it just wraps up more rain. The Dominican Republic, we could have some spots that get an additional 300 or 400 millimeters of rain. That's on top of the flooding we've already had in parts of the southern Dominican Republic. And you can see here, this is one of the models, and there will be that difference. Again, this is off of my chart in here. Kingston lifting to the north. We're going to have those spots up to or over 750 millimeters of rain, over 30 inches of rain. It will be a divide and a hurricane. All of the hurricane is bad. I mentioned the hurricane force winds we're going to get in our western zones, but the worst is off toward the center, of course, is the worst, and then just off toward the east. Because as this lifts to the north, you get that flow coming in. We're going to see that rain just flowing in, and it is not going to stop. It is life-threatening rain amounts. These are huge rain amounts, and then eventually up toward eastern Cuba, watching very closely. Now, here's the deal. The rain totals will be high on extreme southeastern Cuba. With that said, it's going to be accelerating, so the totals won't be as high once this gets up here. The problem is this is just sitting for days and days, close and on top of Jamaica for today, parts of today, tomorrow, into tomorrow night, and then again at least early on Thursday. Now you can take a look at this map. This map, it's not the prettiest of maps, right? But if you stop this, if you put a pause on this, and you could kind of see your location on the map. Let me step out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's kind of zoom in to where Alligator Pond is. If you can see it right here, look, if you see it, you can see the blue dot. That's where flooding is going to be. So my friends and families in Alligator Pond District, take it seriously. It may look small here on your picture, on my podcast, but if you zoom in, you'll understand that this is a big area that is covering and saying that this is going to be flooding. Then look to the right of that into Clarendon. Clarendon has a huge flooding zone that takes in the plains down to the southern tip of Clarendon. So that's going to be a disaster zone. Look to the right of that, and you see St. Catherine. There's going to be major flooding there, according to their estimation and also their predictions. Look across the island, and you're going to see multiple flooding spots going back from St. Elizabeth to Westmoreland, into Negril, and so on across the Lucy, Montego Bay, all 14 parishes. All 14 parishes are going to be affected with flooding. Now, I said last night in my podcast that if you take the entire square footage of Jamaica and you imagine 2 feet of water spread across the entire island of Jamaica, that's what we're talking about. That's catastrophic. You may not see any blue dots in your region on the map. It's because it may be smaller, but it didn't pick up on the map here. But every square inch of Jamaica is going to be flooded. It's like taking a bucket of water and throwing on the entire island. That's what's happening. And that's going to happen for days and days and days. So there's going to be multiple buckets of water being thrown on the island. It's going to meander for days, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to have to buckle down, make sure you have enough resources to ride this out, and make sure you're on higher ground. Because this is not the time to be hoping for the best. You got to get out of that flood zone. Find a higher ground somewhere that you can run from the water and hide from the wind. It is going to be historic. So let's continue to listen to the meteorologist. And we're going to look at another meteorologist who's going to tell you a lot more. Here we go.
You see where you see these blues here, that's where most likely we're going to be taking on water with a combination of the surge and the fresh water, the rainwater falling from the sky. So these are the areas that I know some folks have been really helping other people get to safer locations. These are kind of the flood zones. And in this scenario, especially from central sections off toward the east, right in through here, that's where we're likely to see the flooding. Makes sense where we're along rivers, that sort of thing. We're going to be dealing with some very intense flooding and the mudslides that will be happening. Now, as we work our way against central and eastern zones, I have upped what we're looking at for that surge. We're looking at about 2.5 meters to about 4 meters. That will put that in line closer to what happened with Gilbert in some locations. These are the zones I'm incredibly concerned about. Right in through here, you get from Hunter's Village, swinging all the way back toward Kingston with that surge, 2.5 meters to 4 meters, or 9 to 13 feet. What that is as a Category 4 or Category 5 rolls in. Either way, the damage and the impacts are generally the same in that. With that said, you get this abnormal rise in the water. So the water simply is going to rise 2.5 meters to about 4 meters, or up to about 13 feet. And then in these zones here, these brighter colors, again, you can put a pause on this if you need to. That's where the water is going to filter in. And those are the locations that will be underwater because of the surge. Of course, we'll have other locations dealing with the freshwater flooding from what's falling to the sky. These are huge impacts that we are going to see in some locations. Now, it's not going to be as high as far as the surge is concerned. Of course, the northern coast. Keeping an eye on this, though, near Black River, this shifts a little bit more. The center is a little bit more off toward the west. We're looking at, and even now, we're looking at a solid 1 to 1.5 meters of that surge, 3 to 5 feet. So again, these areas, as we get closer to St. Elizabeth, these are the areas that are going to be taking on water. We know this area, again, low-lying if you've been through there, so you get that feel that in a system like this, it's going to be taking on a lot of water. Now, we're already in action. Everything you can in Jamaica to stay safe from this. Do it. That's the bottom line. Everything you got, we do it. We stay safe. We get on the other side of this together. Haiti, of course, we've been getting the word out together, especially along the peninsula. Life-threatening flooding is happening. There's already been some reported deaths. We'll get more into that in the aftermath of that. Back toward the southern peninsula of Haiti. Again, watching more and more rain. It's not stopping yet, right? It's actually going to get a little bit worse as this moves toward Jamaica, and keeping a very close eye on the southern coast of the Dominican Republic. We're taking all the preparations we can to stay away from some of this flooding. High impacts, again, extreme southeastern Cuba, western Cuba, central Cuba, fine. thank you for getting the word out. And again, right through here. And then much of the Bahamas are not getting the hurricane impacts. I'm going to repeat that. Much of the Bahamas not getting the hurricane impacts. Southeastern Bahamas will see the hurricane impacts over 700 islands. So again, keeping things in perspective to let you know where things are going, but also where they're not going, right? That's important. Sometimes you see these entities, it makes it look like a hurricane is going to hit everyone. That is not the case. I do the best I can to really zoom this down. Turks and Caicos, we're taking the preparations, hurricane to tropical storm conditions, and we're making those full preparations again from about Crooked Island south across the southeastern Bahamas. You see the track, everything takes this right into Jamaica, and then right into eastern Cuba, and then Crooked Island or south will be accelerating. And then we're going to keep an eye on Bermuda. I'll show you that. I'll expand out the view in just a second. Here's Bermuda. It may be to the south, or it could be to the right into Bermuda. But again, once it gets to Bermuda, it will be a system that is not as strong. As we well know, in Bermuda, it will be weakening as it kind of lifts. Still could pack a punch, but it will be moving at least quickly. But you can see here again, everything is in line. All of the models, all of that stuff, all of the models have this as a category 4, potentially a category 5. Category 4s and 5s fluctuate because the eye replaces itself at times. So again, you may hear of it got stronger, got a little weaker, got stronger. These systems kind of breathe. So either way, it's going to be category 4 or category 5 at landfall in Jamaica tomorrow night and very early Tuesday. We look at the water temperatures. This is rolling right over where the warmest water is in the Caribbean. And that's been kind of the concern all season long. If something got into the Caribbean or into the Gulf, that it would develop rapidly, and that is exactly what happened. I've been talking about that since May, the concerns on that. This is not going to shoot its way toward Florida or into the Gulf or into Central America. It is going to be making the turn, and I could show you why in just a second. I'll show you kind of what's helping steer this. Now, here's the European model. Here we are in Jamaica right here. I know this map is different, but I want to give you everything I've got. So you can put a pause on this if you kind of need to take this in. Here's Jamaica. Here's this system. This is later today, a powerful hurricane. Those rain bands continue to pump in to Haiti. And then, of course, mainly eastern sections. Again, western sections, the impacts will be a little bit less. We know that. That's why I've been showing you. And again, not a whole lot today and even into parts of tomorrow. Then you can see here, this is by tomorrow morning. Hurricane impacts starting to roll in. I mentioned tomorrow morning, and then through the day, southern coast, watching that as this powerful hurricane moves in. It's moving so slowly, right? We're going to be sheltered in place for so long. As we work our way into tomorrow evening, it starts to move in. Those are the winds we're talking about, 100, pushing 120, 130 at times along the southern coast, north coast, the tropical storm conditions tomorrow. Then as we work our way into Monday night, tomorrow night, this moves right across Jamaica. Here's Jamaica right through here, so we get the hurricane impacts on the north coast as well. Again, a little bit lesser to the west. Those are the better locations, central and eastern zones. High impacts of a category 4 to category 5 hurricane. Then as we work our way into Tuesday, it's going to accelerate. That's the good news, deeper into Tuesday. So here we are in Jamaica. This is Tuesday afternoon. It gets out of Jamaica. It's going to be moving quicker at this point, but then it moves right toward Guantanamo Bay, lifting across southeastern sections of Cuba. This here is by the time we get into a Wednesday. By Wednesday, you could see it again, extreme southeastern Bahamas, watching the Turks and Caicos, still a powerful hurricane at this point, not a category 4 or 5 most likely. We'll be watching it, but it could be, but it is going to be a very strong hurricane nonetheless. And then eventually, by the time we get into Wednesday night, this will have moved off into the water away from the Bahamas. But I'm also watching what's going to happen down the road. I'll expand that out, watching Bermuda as well. Now you can see here, here's the American model. This was the one showing it near Haiti. That didn't happen. This is showing this move, a very similar scenario with all of the models now. Again, we are better. I try to find some good news. We're better in our western sections, still hurricane impacts, but central and eastern zones, we're going to see the high impacts. And you see.
Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Naram Promotions Real Deal Podcast Show. This is Hurricane Watch. This is Information Central. Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show is here for you. And we're going to be here throughout the entire event. You can like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell so the social media algorithms send it out to those who need to know. That's the least you can do. I'm doing this for you for free to warn you of what's coming. Take heed. Go to higher ground. This is a historic event that you've never seen before. Not even my grandmother, nor my great-great-grandmother. This is once in a lifetime. Well, not once in a lifetime. It's happened over the many years, but not in our lifetimes or my great-great-grandmother's lifetime. But this is a historic event that you gotta check out. Go to higher grounds, especially those in Alligator Pond, Treasure Beach, all the way all the south coast of Jamaica. Go to higher ground. If you're on the coast, you gotta go. Get out of the way of this flooding event. The entire country of Jamaica is gonna be inundated. The system is 400 miles wide, packing winds of 150 miles an hour and more. It's a category 4 leaping quickly to a category 5. That is absolutely dangerous. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell so the social media algorithm can send it out there for those who you do not contact. They will see it. Some people don't watch what's going on, and they do it on their they check out their phones when they get that ping or when they get that notification that here's something you should check out. So I'm asking you to like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Help those who can't help themselves. Secure those who are in weak structures. This is going to be around for days, and it's going to be sustained winds of 150 miles an hour or more, and wind gusts of 180 miles an hour or more. You need to take it seriously. Help those who can't help themselves. Share this live, and we'll be back on later on with Dane and some other people. Call in to send in your videos or come on live and show me what's going on in your area. This is going to change the trajectory and the future of Jamaica, Cuba, and Haiti and the Dominican Republic forever. This is historic, ladies and gentlemen. This is life-changing. I'm not here because I'm seeking clicks. I'm here to help you to understand what's going on here. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Please share it with somebody so they understand. We're going to continue to listen to the meteorologist, and I'm going to another meteorologist after this so you can understand from different perspectives that this is not a joke. Here we go.
The American model has this, again, staying off the coast, as most of the models do, and it's kind of a, hey, what storm at this point type of scenario, but you're getting the messaging out, because then you see here the American model by tomorrow morning, like the European model, shows some of those hurricane conditions starting to wrap in. Such a slow mover. Then we go from Monday night deeper into the day on Monday. There's your time frame. This here is by the time we get into 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Right here, there's the eye of it starting to work in. Tropical storm conditions, far eastern or far western sections, the extreme hurricane conditions, central and eastern sections of a major hurricane moving right into Jamaica. The eye is going to pass right across Jamaica, most likely in our eastern sections, and then it starts to lift up to the north. Meanwhile, all of the rain on the backside continues to filter in to Haiti and parts of the Dominican Republic, even enhanced rain back toward Puerto Rico as we work our way through Tuesday, rolling right across extreme southeastern sections of Cuba. Most of Cuba not getting this. Extreme southeastern sections, and then watching over toward Crooked Island south back through the Turks and Caicos for hurricane to tropical storm conditions that will eventually be moving in. You see it here. There's the eye of it. Still a powerful hurricane for extreme southern Bahamas, watching the Turks and Caicos for some hurricane impacts Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and that's why we're making the preparations. And I track storms start to finish, so as you subscribe, you'll get the updates, and I'll continue to take you through this storm the entire way. Now, looking at the winds, miles per hour, kilometers an hour on your screen, these winds are underdone. Again, it's not picking up on how strong it is, but an idea of how big it is, right? This model is off. This is the American. Most of the models are off at this point for the strength. Again, I mentioned right now winds are at 140 on this sucker, but look at that wind field. Tropical storm conditions for days across the peninsula of Haiti. Meanwhile, the hurricane conditions move in tomorrow morning. Central and south central and southeastern coast of Jamaica. And then by the time we get deeper into tomorrow, and in particular tomorrow night, you see the center of this would be by 5 p.m., just nonstop heavy rain, heavy winds, the tropical storm conditions over toward Montego Bay, the hurricane conditions back toward Kingston. Then tomorrow night, all of us get some hurricane conditions with that eye moving right on top of either central or eastern sections of Jamaica. And where that eye wall is, that's the ring, the eye of it. That's where we're going to have destructive winds, and then lifting up to the north. And you can see it here by the time we get into Tuesday morning. So as we're sheltering in place and we're hearing all these sounds, and it is very scary, know that as we go throughout Tuesday, improvements come. 5 p.m. on Tuesday, this right into extreme eastern sections of Cuba. Meanwhile, still tropical storm conditions for Haiti. It's been about a week of that with the life-threatening flooding. This will lift right into Wednesday. You can see here Tuesday night into Wednesday over the southeastern Bahamas, back through the Turks and Caicos, and then after that lifting to the north. I'll expand out the view in just a second from Canada, the U.S., back toward Bermuda. But Jamaica, we're going to have some and I don't use this word lightly, not all of, but all of Jamaica, we're getting hurricane impacts. We're going to see damage across Jamaica. We know that, right? Where that eye comes on shore, there are going to be catastrophic impacts of structure failure, trees down, roads kind of cut off. We know that. I've been showing you that for really days and days, and many of us will get stuck in place. We'll lose touch with our loved ones for a period of time. So kind of letting know that outside of Jamaica, that it is going to be tough for some of us to kind of stay in touch as communication gets cut off. We have some isolation of communities. Worse weather for Jamaica will be rolling in late Monday night, into very early on Tuesday. That's when the worst weather moves in, but it's kind of already started in spots as far as the rain goes, because we're just going to continue to see those totals pile up. So please do me the favor, just get the word out about this, especially since it's going to be such a slow mover. Now the wave heights, and then we'll expand out further in a second, of course they're going to be very high. The surge is the concern. We have the massive waves out there, but as this moves in, we get the abnormal rise in the water. That's the surge. That is deadly if you're in those surge zones, because that's basically the ocean coming in, right? That's what the surge is. These are the wave heights, and you just get the idea here. Another system coming off the southeast coast of the U.S. That's what's going to help kind of steer this thing, help kind of hook this up. There'll actually be two systems. I'll show you those in just a moment. But you see the wave heights this here is by the time we get into Wednesday. Again, the waves, the seas in the northern Bahamas by the time we get into Wednesday are because of the system coming out of the U.S., not actually because of this area. Then this area lifts more into the Atlantic by the time we get into Thursday, as that tries to pull away, but closer to Bermuda. Here's the big picture. So Bahamas here, watching Bermuda here. It's this system here pulling through the Tennessee Valley, southeast U.S., another one of those autumn fronts that turns this right into Jamaica. The weather tied together on a regional, global scale. This one turns it, that grabs it, so we'll see some additional rain eventually Tuesday as we work our way into Bermuda. So this is what's kind of curling this. You see it right there by the time we get into Tuesday, and then a second system really gives it that final kick as it moves. But with that, we're still going to monitor how close this gets to Bermuda. This is the area that was looking like it could be a nor'easter, just kind of mainly offshore. But you can see as we work our way into Thursday, this could be very close to Bermuda Thursday or Thursday night. We'll see if it's on top of Bermuda or just a miss. If this comes to Bermuda, of course, it will be weaker and it will be a fast mover by the time it gets to Bermuda. So all eyes on Jamaica. Everything you got to prepare to stay safe. Everything you got. We do it over the next 3 days. We have to. We've got to do it. Cayman Islands, this is not coming to the Cayman Islands. This is staying off toward the east. That is good news for the Cayman Islands as we try to find some good news around. covering everyone. Trinidad and Tobago still monitoring the seismic activity. Again, we had that earthquake a couple days ago. Isolated chance of showers. Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Lucia. Melissa's not coming into these areas. Rain chance has gone down in Grenada. About a 20% chance for tomorrow. St. Vincent and the Grenadines just isolated. 30% chance as we work our way back toward Martinique. Isolated shower, kind of passing variety from Dominica back through Guadeloupe. Rain chance 20, maybe 30%. Antigua and Barbuda, rain chance relatively low, 20 to 30%. We do that again. St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, rain chance staying on the low side. Eastern Caribbean, rain chance not super high. Anguilla and St. Bart's, 20 to 30% chance. Same thing. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. We swing back toward Puerto Rico. Some of the outer bands will be with us, and in those we can get isolated areas of flooding, right? We've seen that the last couple days, so we're still in that pattern. May catch a few of the outer bands for parts of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Meanwhile, in the Bahamas, all eyes on the extreme southeastern Bahamas, where we are making those hurricane preparations now to stay safe. We are in action mode. Not all of the Bahamas, just extreme southeastern sections. And again, Turks and Caicos, we're making those hurricane preps. Hurricane or tropical storm conditions will eventually be moving in across the Dominican Republic. Again, the life-threatening flooding in the southern zones, in just terrible, terrible impacts across the peninsula of Haiti. For days and days, this is going to continue. We are thinking of you across Haiti, especially Jacmel, swinging back toward the west. Belize, rain chance about 30 to 40%. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, rain chance not too high. Could catch a passing shower, looking at a 20 to 30% chance as we go over the next few days. From Guyana and Suriname, the rain chance is not high, mainly dry throughout much of Suriname, and of course extreme southeastern sections of Cuba. That's where we'll have the impacts from Hurricane Melissa. Costa Rica and Panama, rain chance trying to trend down, still have some rain around. Nicaragua, we're looking at a 50% chance, a 40% chance in Honduras. Again, this area is not coming toward Honduras or Belize or San Andres or Providencia. Guatemala and El Salvador, 30 to 40% chance. Mexico City, rain chance holding at 20%, a 30% chance from Merida back through Campeche and Cancun, 50% chance as we work our way from northern Colombia back through northern sections of Venezuela. And as we get back toward Bermuda, by Tuesday, that's the system coming out of the U.S. And then by the time we get into Wednesday night, into Thursday, we'll be keeping a very close eye on where the rest of Melissa ends up. So a direct hit of Hurricane Melissa that is moving into Jamaica, Category 4, Category 5 at landfall. Again, either way, the damage, the outlook would be the same. Record rain amounts, floods, and wind. And we're taking action extreme eastern Cuba, southeastern Bahamas, and the Turks and Caicos as we watch what's next with this system. So thank you for your trust in doing your part.
Ladies and gentlemen, goodness gracious me. Not looking good. I hope you're watching. Spread the word. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. That's the least you can do. That's all I'm asking you to do. Like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell. Warn those who have not heard, or allow the algorithm to send the message out. I hope you got the message. We have one more video to show you, and then we're going to cut the show until later on. We're going to say maximum respect to those who are sending in their comments. Thanks for the update, man. God protect Jamaica, land we love. Nerese Mills 6277. Bless up yourself and welcome to the show. This is a big, big deal. And the others that are sending in messages, will get to them and I'll respond to you sometime during the course of today. We're going to be back on the show later on tonight or this evening as things progress, because now we're in that zone or where the cone is coming. Menacing Melissa or destructive Melissa is here and ready. I'm urging each and everyone along the coastline of the south coast of Jamaica, go to higher ground. The flooding is going to come. The destruction is going to come along the south coast. All those in low-lying areas and flood-prone areas, seek higher ground. Go. All those in the mountains, and you know you're susceptible to landslides and mudslides, go to another area where you can find a solid structure to hunker down for the next few days or a few weeks until things come back to normal. Spread the word, like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a historic event. Tell your friends. Protect your friends and family. Help those who cannot help themselves. We're going to take to you another video of what we're seeing on this end from the meteorologists, who are the ones who are responsible to let you know what's going on. This is absolutely historic. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. This is Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. And we bring to you something that you've never seen before. A historic event. Here we go. Are you ready?
Hurricane Melissa has become a powerful Category 4 hurricane, and the strengthening likely isn't done quite yet. It's got Jamaica in its sights and has the potential to bring catastrophic impacts. Bane, all the adjectives, catastrophic, devastating, you name it, is headed right towards that beautiful island nation.
Exactly, and we've seen a period of extreme rapid intensification with Melissa. Just look at the jump we've made since yesterday. From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday to this morning, we saw 70 to 140. Now, this is a rapid intensification times 2. Kiana, this was expected, but it's quite shocking. And people in Jamaica need to be in shelter now, need to be on high alert with tropical storm conditions just on their doorstep.
They sure do, because the next couple of hours, Bane, are going to be crucial to the time of preparing. I think by this time, say tomorrow going into Tuesday morning, we're going to be watching a good chance of this making a direct impact to Jamaica and that landfall during that time frame too. Until then, there's an opportunity for a couple of things to change. So let's kind of dive into things. One of the things I've been watching is the eye wall that has become super pronounced. There is a clear-cut indication of where that eye wall is within the storm. And then on top of that, you see these dark shadings of purple that pop up, the cold cloud tops, meaning that these storms are still really bubbling up and developing as they make that approach closer towards Jamaica. Bane just talked about the rapid intensification that was underway. We had a double rapid intensification, but since the last advisory, we've seen a couple of things change within the numbers. One of them has been the pressure. We are watching as the pressure continues to drop, a clear indication that this is starting to really intensify. Even beyond this, we could see possibly even a Category 5 storm going into the next couple.
Let me stop this here just to address an issue about a comment that somebody made. I'm going to put it on the screen. xm21.com.ph.79 says, "Is that a British flag? Please take that off the wall." Keep your comments respectful. I respect your comment, and I'll take it in consideration, but keep it respectful. So whatever you see here, if you don't respect it, change your channel. Go look somewhere else. Okay? We respect that you're looking and you're sharing or liking our content, but keep your comments respectful, or we'll have to block you and report you. Keep it real, and this is a family-friendly show. We don't tolerate this kind of language. So we're going to take that down as we do. So we're going to go back to regular programming, respect for your viewership. However, if you do not like what's over here, take it elsewhere. Okay, that's your choice. But do not bring derogatory comments to this program. Thank you again, but keep it respectful. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue.
Couple of hours, or if not, next day or so. With that being said, we have Jamaica under the hurricane warning. We also have hurricane watches and thunderstorm warning, or excuse me, tropical storm warnings up between Haiti and Cuba. These are areas that may feel the outskirts, those outer bands of Melissa before it moves off towards the north and out towards the Atlantic. Jamaica, unfortunately, the entire island has the brunt of the worst impacts. Heavy rain, we're talking feet of rain, winds up to 150 miles per hour or even beyond that heading into tomorrow. Looking at the storm, we're starting to see some of that rain, a couple of heavier bouts of showers push into southern Jamaica. We've been watching that over the course of this week happen across Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So now we're going on to days of seeing that rain there. But with Kingston back towards Montego Bay, rain starting to pour on in. This is just the very beginning of what's going to be an active, say, 48 hours or so for the island nation of Jamaica. And Nick made a great point. Looking at the live radar here out of Jamaica, you can almost see the outer bands of that eye wall as it approaches closer and closer to the southern and eastern side of the island. Unfortunately, from here on out, we are looking at a thumbs up to everything. All of the ingredients are in place. We have low wind shear. Moisture is becoming a really good moisture source for this system as it pushes in. And then the Caribbean is still very warm. It's untapped with the temperatures up to 85 degrees.
All right, let's continue talking about Melissa here in our 4-point segment. This is typically when all of us meteorologists get around and we talk about the buzziest topic of the day in terms of the weather world. And obviously today it is all about Melissa. We've got Bain, we've got Kiana, and joining us this hour, Marissa Torres. Marissa, we love to see you. We hate the circumstances that we're under, but we love to see you. And we want to get your take because we've been talking about Melissa all morning long, and there are just so many impacts that are going to be coming to the island of Jamaica. It's almost tough to keep track of them all. You've got the wind, the heavy rain, the flooding, and honestly, the storm surge is one of those that may be buried, you know, the lead of that may get buried with all of the other impacts, but it's going to be huge, especially on the east side of the landfall.
Yeah, every impact has the potential to be catastrophic and life-threatening, truly. When it comes to storm surge, we've actually seen some increase in surge potential here, now up to 13 feet. Of course, the higher surge, as you guys know, will be to the east of that center. So we have to see exactly where Melissa decides to make that landfall. But this could be truly catastrophic for those areas much closer to the coast. When you talk about the potential for surge up to 13 feet, almost what we saw with Hurricane Gilbert, but you are talking about some of these more populated areas. Kingston, the capital, where we have about 1 million people. You're talking about the extent of that surge coming in over dry land, right? So where it's not typically dealing with ocean water. And then also when you consider the fact that we have that potential for about 3 feet of rain. Kingston is also where we have the airport, as you saw. It's on this spit of land that extends from the main island. You're talking about a narrow road that it could very likely be covered in water. The same with the airport. And looking at the surge potential, you guys, with that landfall, it'll be an immediate threat. And then the hope would be to get that water back out. But in the meantime, it's going to come with large breaking waves. And again, that onshore wind that's going to be incredibly ferocious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you know, Kiana, it's the storm surge, so it's the salt water. And then also the fresh water threat. Those two things, I think, are going to come together, possibly inundating parts of the island.
I would agree with that 100%. We have the totals up for the rain still to come here because we're looking at anywhere between about 2 to 3 feet of rain. And I think for the areas, it's really the entirety of the island, but those areas off towards, say, the south and east, I think we'll see those impacts first. So Marissa said it well. We could have a small, you know, roadway that can quickly be covered with water, whether it be the salt water or the fresh water. And then on top of that, this is a really mountainous terrain. So seeing all this rain kind of dump out over this island could lead to a lot of that flooding concern over the next couple of days.
Yeah. And, you know, Kiana, I'm glad you brought up the terrain because that is a major factor into what is going to be happening, why this could be so catastrophic. Because, okay, you put that amount of rain anywhere, it's going to cause some serious problems. On top of this, the storm surge. But what makes Jamaica so interesting is it has this beautiful topography, these beautiful mountains, but that causes so many issues when we have so much of that rain where we can end up seeing landslides, and those happen very quickly. It's tough to escape out of those, and these cover roads completely. They devastate homes and towns, and again, this happens so fast that almost no time to even react in these situations. So again, this topography is going to be causing a bit of issues, and especially onto that eastern side where we are mostly going to be watching for the most rain coming in, as well as where we could end up looking at that system actually making landfall, Melissa making landfall near this part of the island. Well, the more western side still has quite a few mountains, but they're not quite as high. I mean, the Blue Mountains reach almost 7,500 feet, while mountains a little bit more to the west, more so about 2,000 feet, which is still high. But again, it's going to be devastating, especially near Kingston, where that is the capital of the island. And many people live there. Millions are living over there. And that's a spot that is going to be getting storm surge, like we mentioned over there with Marissa, as well as that intense amount of rain. You mentioned Kiana. And then to put that all together, and we have this topography where we have these intense, large mountains that can just cause so many landslides so quickly.
Yeah, you run from the water and you hide from the wind, right? And I think with this, probably a lot of the headlines are going to be based around the wind speeds. Is eventually, you just saw it right there, this is likely to strengthen to a Category 5 storm. So we could be seeing headlines that say Melissa packing 160-mile-per-hour winds. And you notice it spins counterclockwise, right? And the heaviest, gustiest winds always come in on the right side or the northeast quadrant of the storm. So we have that labeled right there. The reason for that is that's when the wind spends the most time over the frictionless ocean. So there's nothing to stop the wind from gaining momentum. There's no buildings or trees to break up the wind. But also you'll notice the wind field is pretty big with this. And if this does undergo that eye wall replacement that we've been talking about all morning long, then the wind field would expand. And that's why even the northern end of the island is going to be bearing the brunt of really, really gusty winds as well. So, you know, guys, it's not like it's just the southern shores of Jamaica. It's northeast, southwest. Nothing about this island is getting spared.
Right. And I want to mention this, too, because you were talking about the intensification, rapid intensification it's already gone through. I mean, you guys, if you were joining us earlier yesterday morning, we were looking at a tropical storm, a 70-mile-per-hour winds, and now we're at 140 miles per hour winds. That's a rapid intensification times 2, double rapid intensification within 24 hours. This system has been rocking and rolling, a monster already at this point, you guys. And I mean, in my opinion, I think this could definitely be a Cat 5 in the coming hours, coming day or so.
When you talk about the peak strength, also remembering this is our third Category 5 of the season. We had Aaron and we had Umberto, which I know you guys have talked about. But there's only been one other season in history that we've had more than 2 Cat 5s, and that was 2005, a season that featured Wilma, that featured Katrina. I mean, you're talking about a very serious, catastrophic sort of setup when you introduce land to this powerful hurricane. I'm very worried for Jamaica. Some of these communities could be cut off for days, if not weeks, because of the landslide potential. The wind element, as Nick pointed out, with the mountains could actually increase some of the winds as they try to get through some of the valleys. So if it comes in with winds of 150, 160, we could see even stronger gusts, which may not even be registered because they are so powerful. Big concerns, right? And landfall would be what? Late Monday into early Tuesday, potentially.
Yeah, and you know, Marissa, I'm glad you brought up 2005. I hate to frame it like this, but in 05, gosh, did the USA get hit, right? Luckily for us, we haven't seen a landfall yet. So that's the distinction between that historic season and this historic season. And Colorado State, if you remember at the beginning of the season, they only predicted 3 major hurricanes. So we're above that, and that's just an interesting little tidbit, I think, about the 2025 season. We're at 4.
Major?
This would be 4.
This is 4th major.
Yeah.
Okay, which.
And I mean, I also want to, you can't think about Jamaica without thinking about 1988, which is what I believe Hurricane Gilbert.
Yeah.
And that was a Category 4 storm and it caused mass devastation to that island too. And I mean, this, if it becomes a Cat 5 and makes landfall as a Cat 5, this would be the first time for that island in recorded record history. So for them, so this is going to be devastating no matter what, even with just the rounds and rounds of rain that we've been seeing.
It's been 30 years since they've seen anything like this. So a whole generation has gone by, and they don't know what possibly could be happening. So, Kiana, this is going to be something we're going to keep a close eye on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is real as real can be. Please warn those who do not know. Spread the word, like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. This is real. This is as real as you get. Goodness gracious me. You heard for yourself. Go back to rewind this. Go back and listen carefully to what is going on in the Caribbean, especially in Jamaica, over the next few hours. As I told you, the flooding, the wind, run from the water, hide from the wind. It'd be good to be in a cave in a high mountain right now. A cave is looking real good, right? But we like our homes, right? So go to higher ground, ladies and gentlemen. Strap down those roofs. Make sure you have adequate supplies for weeks. Category 5 is no joke because Jamaica has never seen a Category 5. Category 4, yes. You know, Category 4 inching to a Category 5, but never seen a Category 5. This is going to be probably a Category 5 and above. You understand what that means? It's going to meander and stick around in Jamaica like it's on vacation for 3 to 5 days. Packing sustained winds of 100 plus up to 140, 150 miles per hour winds. While it vacations in Jamaica, because Jamaica is a hot spot. It's going to stick around 3 to 5 days and vacation in Jamaica. You know what's that going to be? Or what's going to happen here? Dangerous flooding conditions. Roofs are going to lift. The winds and rains are going to cause flooding. Dangerous conditions. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. That's the least you can do. This is coming to you free. Share it with your friends and families so that it can go out there to those who don't know. Over the last 12 to 15 hours, the situation with Hurricane Melissa has changed for the worse. Yesterday in the morning, or 24 hours ago, it was a totally different picture than what you're looking at this morning, October 26th, on a Sunday. It has intensified to enormous proportions for the worse. Share this with your friends and families. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell. We had Dane, the young Naram Promotions soldier on the ground, which we're gonna be talking to him later on. He's from Senior District in Manchester, South Central Jamaica. And he told you that there's a lot of things he's seeing on the ground while he's moving around, that a lot of the drains have not been cleared so that the water has a clear way to get out of here. And I hope it doesn't pose a major catastrophic problem for the country. I don't know what the rest of the other 13 parishes are looking like, but from where he's sitting in Sea Air District, along the Alligator Pond, New Forest, Roscarna, you go across the Bull Savannah Junction and all that good stuff, and up to Downs, Prospect, Gutters, Nain, Morningside, and so on. All those areas that drain areas. I say most of those areas. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a big, big problem and a systemic risk for those who are paying taxes. If you're paying taxes, it should be done. No excuse. I saw the Prime Minister smiling while he's giving an address to the nation. This is no joke. This is as real as it gets. Wait till Wednesday or Thursday when I report to you the damages. Category 4 leading into a Category 5 quick, and may go above that to maybe a Category 6. It's in open, warm waters, and the waters are warm all the way down 100 feet or more. That's a playground for a hurricane. Goodness gracious me. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell so that others will know when we're coming on the show. We're going to be here live with you all the way through. Look down below, lock those numbers in, send in your videos, come on to the show live and tell us and show us what you're seeing in your area. Don't do it at the behest of your safety. That means if your battery is low, don't contact me. If you don't have any way to charge up your device, don't contact me. I want you to have access to telecommunications and also access to the outside world. We're not a priority. Your life and safety is a priority. So if you know that it's going to jeopardize your safety, do not contact us. Save your battery. But for those who can, and it will not be a problem, send in your videos or come on to the show live and tell us what's going on in your area. Whether it be you're in Jamaica, Haiti, or the Dominican Republic, or any other island that's affected by this hurricane. We're here for you. I urge those in the first world, Canada, US, Britain, Australia, and so on, start putting things together to ship to the island, because your friends and families are going to need it. You know what I'm saying? You got to ship things and send money there for the real rebuilding process. So I'm going ahead of the game here. Start now. Start preparing. Prepare, because this is coming. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. So if you never sent a barrel before, now is the time. Food and all the essential items. I will talk about that after the event. What you need to pack to send to Jamaica. You also need to have cash money when the banking system gets back up and running and the remittance services are back up and running. You got to send cash because they're going to need that. This is a catastrophic event, and you need to prepare to support and aid those in Jamaica after this event, because everybody has to hunker down, buckle down, and ride it out in the next week, 5 days or more. But everything is going to be shut down for months, given the expected damage that will happen. This is absolutely critical. So, ladies and gentlemen, Thank you for being here on Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. We'll see you later on today, and we'll have more news and coverages live on location in Jamaica later on. God bless you all, and we say thank you from Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell, and you'll see us later on. Here we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Naram Promotions is at you.